To go through the joint TH and rapid rehousing projects in the HMIS. We're just going to go through the workflow. We wanted to take the time to clarify what the requirements are for these projects, as we have not previously before. And the purpose of this program is to fill in the gaps of unsheltered homelessness, domestic violence, homeless youth, and VA-funded homeless assistance programs, provides a safe space for participants to quickly house participants and move them into permanent housing. So these programs are unique in the way that they have two separate projects, as you all already know, and we will walk through the requirements and how they should be entered into the HMIS. So as a quick overview, this will go as number one, we will receive a CE referral. Number two, we will then contact the client and obtain consent through the ROI, release of information. Number three, we will enroll them in the rapid rehousing component and complete the entry assessment. Number four, if and when they have moved into the TH component of the facility, we will then enroll them into the TH. If and when the client then moves into a unit under rapid rehousing, we will then enter a housing move-in date under rapid rehousing. Once the client is then housed under rapid rehousing, they must be exited from the TH component. And then once they have completed all the services, completed the program from rapid rehousing and have stopped receiving services, they will then be exited from rapid rehousing. So that is just kind of a quick overview. So very first thing is we will receive a referral. So now these referrals are going to start to look different after this implementation. They will look like a double referral. So this is what it will look like. So we've seen referrals before. The need will come from the skilled assessor provider, and then you will have two referrals under that for each of the TH and rapid rehousing components. They're all going to have the same one need status that will need to be updated as usual, but they will come in threes now. Okay. So another good way to keep track of that is creating an accounts report. Usually coordinated entry also sends an email. So accounts report is created at the front. So if we have not done that before, we'll quickly create it. So we create accounts report. This pencil will allow you to select different reports that will just stay running in the background there. And we want to keep one with incoming referrals, all dates, select the provider, and then we will choose a provider. So that's STARS project. Either one of those, then the referral will be sent to both, so you can just have one provider set up. Click OK, and then you'll have a running count of the referral. So just know that this count is always, the number doesn't go down when you start responding to them. So this is just still like a running count. So it doesn't ever close out any of the referrals. So that is just kind of a side note for counts report. And as a reminder, we will need to update that need status accordingly. So we've obtained a referral. The next step is to find our contact. So contacts are always found in the client profile tab. If we scroll down in the client profile tab, oh, it is not. Oh, that's because I am a system admin. So 1 second. So client profile tab, and we should see, well, maybe not, not for an admin for some reason. It will show up at the bottom of the client profile tab. It looks like this. It should be a table. And once they have been contacted, we will then need to update that referral as usual. Once you have contacted the client, we must obtain a ROI, and we have to document that for our project. So as usual, you are documenting that ROI to the agency as a whole. So add a release information. We are Unity right now. Please granted yes. We're going to add 3 years. Save release of information. I'm going to do that twice. And supplemental, save release. So we've obtained our contacts, and then again, we would then update that referral need status. We've done this before. Make sure we are engaged, enroll, and progress to enrollment. Save and exit. So far, the steps should be pretty familiar. Pausing to see if there's any questions. All right, awesome. So next step is we then enroll them into the rapid rehousing component. So no matter what, joint RRH participants will be enrolled into the rapid rehousing. So once we receive them, we would then enroll them to the RRH component. It's HUD. Save and continue. Why not? Okay. We enroll them into a rapid rehousing. So their RRH enrollment should reflect the full time they're receiving assistance from the joint component, whether or not they're receiving RRH rental assistance yet. So specifically, and then we would complete the entry assessment accordingly. Update the referral need status again as needed, and if ever it needs to be updated to rematch. So standard process. Continue. So I've completed my entry assessment. Save and continue. Okay. And then at this point, they would stay in the rapid rehousing until they either move into the TH component or they move into a unit under rapid rehousing. So if they do move into the TH component, we would then enroll them accordingly. So whenever they do, so say they moved into the TH component 2 or 3 days after, then we would enroll them in that. Why not? Okay, we enrolled them in the TH component. Pretty simple. Once they are enrolled in the TH, follow the same process. Once they are enrolled in TH, then they can be updated. The referral need status can be updated to housed. Next is that once they move into a unit, a permanent housing unit under rapid rehousing, we need to enter a housing move-in date. So I am in my rapid rehousing component, so make sure you are going into the right project, going to the interim, add interim review type is update housing move-in date. Remember that the review date is the date that you receive that information, so may or may not be the same day that they moved in. And a move-in, according to HUD, is the day that they stay the night at the at the unit. So it may not be the same day they receive the keys or receive the lease. So it just needs to be the day they actually spent the night there. So let's say that they spent the night there on 9/3/2025. I don't understand what's happening in my computer here. It's not letting me do things. This is silly. Okay, so I added my update housing move-in date, save and exit. So at this point, I completed interim review, update housing move-in date, updated changes. If they did not move into the TH facility, then you would update this to house. So you wouldn't do it again. So if they moved into the TH, then also moved into a rapid rehousing, you wouldn't need to change it again. So if they did not move into the TH facility, you would then update the referral needs status to house now that they moved into the rapid rehousing unit. So I'm going to pause there and see if there is any questions. I do see a couple questions from that I missed from Monica. I see your hand there, Paris. So I will read Monica's questions real quick and then I will click to you. Does this mean now that we are not waiting until they are actually housed within that 45 days? I'm not sure I understand the question because I did miss when you asked this question. So if you wanna, if you would like to clarify what that question is. Yes, yes.
Okay, hey. So
Hi.
the question was, normally we client engage in process to enrollment. We
Okay.
don't put them into our program until they come in, they do an intake, and we enroll them that day. And then after they spend their first night there, we put their house and move-in date. So now from the match, from the time that we contact them and they basically come in and say, okay, yeah, I want to be part of this program, you're seeing that we're inserting them into our program from that day.
Yes. Yes. They
Okay.
should be enrolled in the rapid rehousing first. Yes.
Okay, so what do you mean rapid rehousing first? Because sometimes we get matches for TH and then so we have two different matches. So I mean, I guess that will go into my second question because I did notice that because all participants do not transfer over because some of them are just not ready for their own place and they like the structure of the TH program.
Okay.
So the ones that do transfer, it looks like you didn't close out the TH portion. So it looks like they're enrolled in. Oh, you was gonna do that.
Yes, so I haven't gotten to any exits yet.
But are you doing that after you house them? Because right now it appears that they're in two programs.
Yes, they
What?
should be if they are in both. So first, you will start receiving a referral to both. So previously you were receiving a referral to maybe just one. Now you will start receiving a referral to both components.
So we get to pick which component the client is eligible. So how does
No, because the joint THRH components are like a package deal. So they are supposed to be working together. So when you receive a referral to these projects, you're going to receive it to both of them. And once they are engaged, they have to be enrolled in the rapid rehousing first. And then once they move into TH, whether that's at the same time you engage with them or a later date, then you enroll them into TH. So there may be a time where they have two enrollments into your, they may have a rapid rehousing and a TH enrollment at the same time.
So my program has two different case managers. So how does that work?
I'm not sure how to address kind of internal workflows. We're just kind of addressing how HUD requirements should be kind of fulfilled. So these are the
So
tasks that need to be completed. I'm not really sure how I can tell you who will do them, I guess.
because I'm still confused on why you're saying that now we're going to get a match and it'll have two components. Normally, because you are using, like you just did the example with our program. So
Mhm.
they have the two different numbers. So when you're saying they're being matched to both, we're now submitting as a 1581 and a 1582. Is that two different matches? And it's or
It's
I
one
guess that's
match to, but it's because it's technically one program, it's just split into two projects.
okay. So I'll just get
Mm.
more information later because I can't I'm not understanding um how that's going to work because we submit matches, right? So when we're submitting a match, we submit a match for 1581 or 1582, or is it going to be a whole nother 1583 number? I don't understand. And when the match come, you're saying that we're going to automatically enroll them in rapid rehousing.
Yeah, so
And
the expectation for HUD is that when you are submitting matches, you have to be able to service that client in both. Whether they use both or not may be different per client, per participant. But when you're submitting a match, it should be that I have availability in both components. Because it's technically one program, but in the system, it's two. But it should be just one together.
so because it's not one together, that my question is still the same. How do we submit a match? Because if we submit
Yeah,
one for
so it should be just
1581,
one count for both.
so if we submit for 1581, we're going to automatically get it for 1581 and 1582.
Yes, yes, yes.
When do this roll out?
Um, After this training, I'm not sure if there is an official implementation date. Do we know, Doug or Alex?
No, I don't think it's an official date we have, but we can follow up.
Paris?
Mine is just short and brief. I'm just asking, can you slow down just a tad bit?
Absolutely, yeah. Please stop me at
Yeah,
any time, guys.
and
Sorry.
that's it.
Yeah, no problem. Uh, Dr. Linda, I saw that you had a hand raised at some point. You're muted. We can't hear you. At the very top, you should see a mic that will allow you to unmute. Sorry, we still can't hear you if you're saying, okay. You're welcome to type your question in the chat. Or some folks have had some luck exiting and coming back into the meeting as well. All right,
Do we
so
want to? Rochelle, it's Doug.
yeah. Hi.
I
Yeah,
This is great, and if we're waiting for Linda to come back in, anyways, I just think this might be worth pausing because I think this is a big crux of what we're talking about here today.
yeah,
So I just wanted to reflect
totally.
back what I was hearing, and but of
Yeah.
course, please correct me. My understanding is that this is exactly what we are kind of presenting here that might be different from what the projects are doing right now, right? Which is that maybe, as Monica, as you were saying, maybe, you've got functionally, you've got two different case managers, you think of them as different projects, you were getting referrals to one or the other. So you were thinking of them as very separate. And the HUD rules, that's what we're laying out here. We're really like clarifying exactly how how HUD says we're supposed to handle the HMIS. And as Rochelle was saying, that means that as soon as they're enrolled in the overall project, the joint project, they have to be enrolled in that rapid rehousing. They may not be housed yet, right? They may not get a housing move-in date for rapid housing, but they're enrolled and they have to be enrolled in the RRH. And then when they're actually spending the night, if they go and spend the night in the TH component, that's when they get enrolled in the TH. But at that point, they remain enrolled in the RRH. Now I know, Rochelle, you're going to get into exits, but I'm gonna jump ahead because my understanding then is that then if the RRH is separate, if they move into an RRH unit and now they're living there, they get that housing move-in date, as Rochelle was saying, and presumably that means they're no longer living in the TH program, which would mean at that point they should be exited from the TH because literally they're living in their RRH. So then essentially it's that rapid rehousing is the one that should be continuous, and then the TH is if they're, yeah. So anyways, I'm jumping ahead a little bit there, but I think this is a great point for discussion here too, because I think this is like a really at the heart of what we're presenting here today. That's different. So it's great to have these questions and discussion.
Definitely.
So when we're enrolling them and they automatically enroll in rapid rehousing, we're giving them both options, right? And
Yes.
then the client's determining which one they want to do.
Yes, you and the client get to determine which path they take. So the TH component is pretty much optional. So if they don't want to go into TH at all, you may not have a TH enrollment at some point, or you may have both, like we mentioned, but they will really only have one like space that they're living in. So you exit them once they make a choice, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So once they are either enrolled into TH or have a housing move-in day, you would exit them at the other. Paris?
So
Oh, sorry.
when we have the space availability, we have two different numbers. Say I think we maybe got 16 and 14. So you're saying that both options has to be available. Quite naturally, 18, 24-year-olds, they're gonna go for the option with their own apartment, less rules, more freedom, right? So then when we reach that number of 14 enrollments, say my rapid rehousing is 14, and I still have 4 or 5, then that is now taken away. So now, even though TH is optional, that's the only option. How do we work with that as far as, do it matter? Like, even though we're saying that these are the numbers, but we still might have, oh, well, we're going to have 20 over here and 10 over here, as long as the number is going to equal the 30. How are we presenting that?
To my understanding from the HUD documentation is that you should always have both available if it is a match. So if you only have TH available and you have no spots in rapid rehousing, then you have no spots in either.
So then that would mess with our utilization, right?
Is that
If
a
it has to
point?
be available, if we have to have both available.
That's how I read the documents. This could be something that we might have to come back to the group for to have like confirmation, but like right now, that's kind of what I remember reading. I will not repeat it until we confirm it. So we are currently talking about what availability requirements a joint TH program should have when requesting a match. So we will need to confirm that question. I will write it down, and we will send out a confirmed message after this meeting. So I don't want to spread misinformation if it's not a confirmed thought. Right. Paris, thank you for your patience.
Hey, from my understanding, and I don't mean to add any more confusion about it, but when I
No,
talked to
not
our
at all.
program lead, they told us that, okay, we had an incident where our rapid housing was full, but when TH had an opening, we were able to fill it. And then if we had any transfers that could go out to PSH, we started moving those individuals in, even though they were duly referred. And then to her point about the matching process, when she's requesting that match, yeah, it goes to your TH first, and that's what's going to show up on the matching list. And then that referral would give you, it will come in duly referred, but you only ask for the TH portion. And then she would just accept both when they come in to not have the timeliness issue come up. Am I going the right way or saying the right thing or?
I am not sure I fully understood. If I fully understood that statement, I'm asking if the other team members did.
So the way that I understood it, Paris, is that you are going to start receiving those two referrals. There's there's only going to be a need to accept one of those two referrals to confirm. So that should take care of the timeliness issue that I think you're speaking of. Um, but as Rochelle and Doug just kind of went over, is that again, you're gonna always have to enroll that client into rapid rehousing first. Um, kind of throw away what you already know about rapid housing, already know about transitional housing, and kind of think of this as its own separate thing.
Okay.
Just one complete project, although they're separate, they are completely together. So no matter what, you're going to always have the rapid housing piece. And then again, if the client decides to utilize the transitional housing, you'll enroll them in TH. If a client ultimately gets a placement in rapid housing with a housing moving date, then you can exit them out of the transitional housing project and then continue to leave them open in rapid housing. But in terms of the timeliness, this shouldn't cause any concern with that.
Okay. And again, I don't mean to overstep. My apologies.
No, please do. We need to clarify these questions. We need these questions asked. So I appreciate them. All right. Anyone else for now? So I'm gonna kind of rewind a little bit, just to kind of make sure we've kind of covered everything. So we received a referral. It's going to be a double referral. We contacted the client and we obtained consent. The client is then enrolled into the rapid rehousing component no matter what. Complete the entry assessment, updating the referral need status accordingly. Once and only if they do actually move into the TH component, then we also create an enrollment for that client in the TH portion, and treat that accordingly. Once they have moved into a rapid rehousing unit, we then add a housing move-in date to the rapid rehousing enrollment and change the referral needs status to CES house. You also should have changed it to CES house if they also moved into the TH component. So if they are housed within TH or rapid rehousing, coordinated entry referral needs status should be CES housed. Okay. Once they are housed in the rapid rehousing, they should be exited from TH. So we will go back to our client. So we added a housing move-in date to our rapid rehousing component. On the same day, I will then exit them to TH from TH. So reason for leaving, they completed program and they are at a rapid rehousing component. Save and continue. I would complete an exit assessment accordingly, make any updates if I need to, save and exit. So they are living in a rapid rehousing unit, so they have moved out of TH. That is what we did here. Continue. So when they are no longer receiving rental assistance from rapid rehousing, then they will be exited from rapid rehousing. And then the final thing is if they lose their housing. So in the event that a joint component rapid rehousing client, or really any other client, loses their housing, the project should exit from the rapid rehousing, okay, create a new enrollment in the same rapid rehousing immediately following the prior enrollment. So we would exit from rapid rehousing on the same day, create a new enrollment. And then you would just start over from step 3. Enroll them in rapid rehousing, follow the same steps. If they move into TH, you would create a new TH enrollment, update the housing move-in date, or exit them accordingly. Yes, and that is what this image kind of shows. And that completes the full workflow. Yes, Dr. Linda, we will send over this presentation. It will also be available at a help desk article, and we'll send that link out. We will send out the recording of this webinar as well the next day or so. Yeah. What other questions can we answer here? So that is the end of the workflow presentation. Yes, Monica.
So what do we do with our matches right now? Because currently I have a rapid rehousing and I have a PH, the way that the old way. So are we going to, I mean, I'm not concerned with the rapid rehousing because that's what it is. They found the apartment and stuff. But do we offer this to the TH participant at this point? Or we just wait until we roll this out?
I can answer this. So, Monica, the way that you're thinking about this is that you're receiving referrals to Rapid Housing and TH, and that's the way that it appears in HMIS, and I completely get it. But you're receiving, just think about it as you're receiving one referral to one project, and they're just coming in currently differently. Um, so
I'm
even
saying
in
I
TH,
understand the new process, but what am I doing with my TH person now? Am I going to reintroduce him to the rapid rehousing component? Because normally we didn't, but now since he's still haven't been housed, should I introduce
Great.
this to him now and see if he want the RRH component? That, I mean, I understand the new process, but I'm saying the one that's in limbo right now
Yes.
so yes, you
because I
should
do have the
introduce them.
space.
So no matter what, you should introduce them to the Rapid Housing component because this project is essentially designed for Rapid Housing. So that should just be the default in every case.
Okay. I mean, I just needed to know what I'm about to do with the one that's in process now.
Yeah. So you'll enroll them in your Rapid Housing project, and then if they ultimately decide that TH is the best fit right now, then you'll enroll them in TH as well.
Okay. All right.
Paris?
Um, we were told before, well, prior to this meeting, that if an individual does not accept um the joint component in its entirety, TH and rapid rehousing, then we will have to rematch that individual and put them into a designated rapid rehousing program or designated TH program if they decided that one was the one that they wanted and they didn't want the workflow that was actually being offered, which was to go into rapid rehousing from transitional housing after as sit down with the LCSW and understanding their needs.
So to my knowledge, I don't think we, or at least HMIS team hasn't directed that instruction that you should, rematch. I don't think CE has either. Um, so no, I don't. So the way that this project is designed, it's not designed that they have to take transitional housing. So if ultimately they want to choose rapid housing, then that's perfectly fine. If ultimately they want to choose transitional housing, I think that's perfectly fine as well. So the way that the project is designed is not meant to for them to have to go through every component of it. Um, that's designed by HUD. So I mean internally, if that's what you guys have determined, I mean, but I don't think that's anything that's something that we've encouraged or put into practice or into documentations.
Okay. And this was just from a meeting with the program lead, and I believe CS was there as well. Um, yeah, so that's the only reason why I'm bringing that up. And it's helped our numbers all in all. I mean, we've kept our transitional full to the most part. Some days, some months we're down middle of the month, and our rapid housing has always been full, and we reached that number pretty fast.
Well, and I think so. Hey, everyone, this is Doug, and once again, Michelle and Alex. But I think some of these questions go back to the earlier question that you're going to get some clarification on, Rochelle, right? Which is that like I think there are some there are some ways this works programmatically. Like I said, so Rochelle, like my understanding of the earlier question is there, if let's say there's literally X number of rapid housing sort of subsidies available and those are full, but there's still spots available in a physical TH project. Um, does that mean that there shouldn't be referrals made? Simply, and I think that that's a programmatic question. That's what we're going to get some clarity on, right? So I think I would be very cautious to drive too much about how you're operating programmatically from our discussion right now. We're going to get that clarity. But from an HMIS perspective, the point is that like the way I think about that rapid rehousing referral is kind of just the universal one to say they're in the overall project. Right.
So we're just
And
marking them off in rapid rehousing, and that takes care of the TH portion.
well, it doesn't take care of the TH portion because the point is that if it's a TH project, they're right, if it's a TH project, they're supposed to literally be in the bed, right? Like
Okay.
to be enrolled in a TH, like there's no housing move-in date for TH. So to be enrolled in a TH means you're in the bed that night. It's like a shelter, right? Like so physically, it's just like common sense, sort of like the way it works. They should be enrolled in TH if they're sleeping in that unit. Whereas, like I said, the RRH kind of functions as the more universal enrollment that remains enrolled. So even if they stay in TH the whole time, even if they never get a housing move-in date with rapid rehousing, even if they never use that subsidy, they just remain in that rapid rehousing enrollment. Rochelle, right? Yeah.
Yes.
And then let's say they exit TH, but they never got the RRH subsidy. Okay, well then you exit them from both at that point. If they're
Okay.
leaving the project.
Okay.
Um, yeah, and especially if people are jumping off. I'm also want to quickly put Monica. Sorry, you asked a question, then I have another question. I don't want to monopolize.
Nope, I was just wants to ask a question on what you said. So should I go back and insert the people that are in my TH into the rapid rehousing portion? Or that's gonna mess up all our data, because I know we coming up with data quality. Um, but then so I mean, I guess with this new rollout, maybe it's behind the scenes that things will change, because then when we pull data quality and stuff, the utilization for the rapid rehousing component is going to be over 100%, because the beds that we have delegated for that, if we're putting all of the participants in under RRH. And then if they do TH, they're going to have a TH component, but they're going to continually stay in RRH, correct? Is that what you're saying?
They will continually stay in rapid rehousing.
Even if they,
Yes.
and then we'll add the TH
Yes.
component, but they're still be under RRH. And maybe the confusion is coming from the two different programs, right? And I'm fine with that. But should I, or maybe that's another question you can ask, would that mess up our data if we went back and put everybody that's in TH, add that RIH component to them, because that's how moving forward everyone would be inserted into the programs, correct?
So that's not going to mess up your data for data quality. So if you're going back and adding in the clients that never got that RRH component that's in your TH, I think that's appropriate. But for data quality, it's not going to mess it up just because the clients that you're going to put in RRH, unless they have a housing movement date, they're not going to show up
Oh,
on
the
rapid
utilization,
housing.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, all right. Oh, that makes sense. Right, okay.
So we're down to, so okay, if that's okay, I want to pose my question again, or I want to pose my question. Can I ask for the different projects that are here, how often does it happen that someone accesses just the RRH component and never actually touches the TH, like never goes into the TH? Like, do both scenarios happen, or do the people always go into TH first? Like, what happens in your actual projects, if somebody will answer? Yeah.
Well, because it has been a joint venture, the way that the program, and this is me coming into the program, the way it was taught to me was the clients that come in, everyone comes into TH and not RH. Everyone comes into TH. And then if they're doing good in TH as far as doing budgets and all of those things, and a rapid rehousing is open, we can transfer them over to rapid rehousing. So that's been happening. But again, once people get into TH, if they don't have kids, and it's normally the people that have children are the main ones that want to go into their own apartment. So when we're doing matches, we're not doing matches based on either or. I mean, we're doing matches based on either or. I got a open bed in TH. I got an open spot in RRH if the people in TH do not want to transfer over. So once they don't want to transfer over and that open spot is available in RRH, we're matching for a RRH program. We're not even telling them about the TH program, because when we put the match in, we're putting the match in for the RRH program. And when we put the match in for the TH program, we are letting them know that, you got matched to this TH program because that's what we put in, that we wanted somebody for this vacancy. We're telling them, okay, this is the TH program. You can transfer over to the rapid rehousing program. You see, so I don't know. I mean, it's just, some one thing in life is change. So I'm definitely fine with it. I just like to have clarity because now with this, I feel like now no matter what, I have to go and present the RRH to everybody in this program prior to any new matches.
I would really put a pause on that. I think that speaks to the programmatic question that we're going to clarify. There's a difference between, because I can't speak for you here, and I just, as we said, we want to be careful because I think there's some clarity we need here. But in my mind, there is a difference between the way you conceptualize it in terms of like offering them the RRH or whatever is different than just might be different than just enrolling them, which is kind of what we're talking about here today. We're going to get that clarity on whether it means you need to offer it to them or whatever you're saying. But like just enrolling them, it's kind of more of a like just the way it's recorded here.
So is this like, how it should have been initially, and it wasn't being, it was anyone doing it this way, or you guys realized that that was a system error and that no one was doing it this way, and that's why we having this? Or did HUD say, hey, it should be like this, must have been some misconception, we need to start doing it this way?
All of the things. I think it's just needed
Okay.
to be clarifying. I think there was maybe some data discrepancies and a lot of questions over the past few months, years that this has been in place. And capacity finally allowed us to clarify this. So we do appreciate your patience, y'all.
And so what about other, I'm sorry, I can't see where everyone is from. Monica, what agency were you from?
Unity.
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 Okay. Yeah. What about Paris? I know you're at Intervoice, or anyone from Intervoice. Can I ask the same question for you? Do they have, I think you kind of already answered it. Generally, they've gone into TH first and then later potentially been offered rapid housing?
Yeah, that's for me too.
That's for you. Yeah. Anyone from Intervoice can speak to that? Yeah.
Jose,
Jose.
please unmute.
No, it's not helping that we're having microphones.
Can you hear me?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, hi, good morning. It's Jose Diaz within a voice. So normally, well, I believe this is a 3-year program. When we first started with TH and rapid rehousing, the rapid rehousings were filled right away. So we're on our 2nd year, going on our 3rd year. So what we do is offer the TH at this point. So they normally go to TH, and then when a unit's available is when we offer them RRH. And at some time, right now, we're full. So we've been full for almost 2 years now. So we should be coming up with rapid rehousing units, but it's not rapid rehousing option in the beginning. So,
Mhm.
but I guess that is a contract thing, a grant thing. It's like we have a certain amount of units and we have the beds. So the beds, is that how it goes, Paris?
Jose, we'll discuss this internally
Okay, okay.
and with the HUD rep, but we'll go with the flow that they're providing right now. And it's
Yes,
overall
yes.
for the flow. They just talked about the programmatically. They can't do that portion right here. So we'll just go with the flow that they're giving. But we'll go
Okay,
back to the program lead and the HUD rep to get clarity on some of those things.
okay.
Thank you.
And quickly, was there anyone from Kids Above All? That might have been Ken, I think, that had to sign
As
off.
Dr. Linda.
Oh, yes. And if I don't know if your mic ever.
Yeah.
Sorry about the microphone issues. I was just curious your program whether they mostly or always did TH first. Is that, even if you could give me but maybe it's not a simple question. Okay, sorry, I'll stop asking then. Thank you.
Just have a few more minutes left. If there was any other questions left, otherwise, thank you all for coming. I believe I have stopped the recording. I will now.